Welcome in to Legally Speaking with LawyerLisa, where we sit down with one of the only elder care attorneys in the Palmetto State, LawyerLisa Hostetler Brown. She helps you plan ahead for your golden years, avoid issues, and maximize your options. Let's take a look at this week's conversation.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown, and this is Legally Speaking with LawyerLisa. Today we're going to talk about what happens when you have a loved one in assisted living or needing to go to assisted living, and what happens next. Because a lot of people are really concerned about the transition to assisted living, but they don't think about what happens later on. And so planning ahead now can save you a lot of stress and money on the back end. So we're going to talk a little bit about that so that you can plan ahead and plan for what's going to happen so that you're not stressed out or in a crisis down the road. So if you have a loved one that has to go to assisted living, the first thing is to think about having the whole situation reviewed by a professional, an elder law attorney. And the reason for this is you want to look at the income and assets of the individual. If they're married, it's very important to bring the spouse's income and assets into the equation because this will seriously affect their lifestyle. And look at where they're being placed and what the future of that might look like as they have a decline over time. So you might enter an assisted living and you're at a certain level and things are fine, but in a few months, in a year, there are natural progressions that start to happen. Increased expenses, increased care, maybe extra support has to come in to keep them in the assisted living so they don't have to be moved. But eventually, somebody might get bad enough that we need to move them. Maybe that extra care is too high. Maybe they need to go to memory care because they're having cognitive decline. Maybe they need to go to a nursing home because the physical decline is too high. Well, that's when you're talking about super high expenses. And a lot of families have just been saying, okay, we can manage assisted living, and they have not done the plan for what the next step is going to be. But had they planned at the front end, early on in assisted living, before things start declining, you can have a full plan in place for what this looks like down the road. You know how the finances are going to work. The documents, the legal documents are in order. They have the right power of attorney for when somebody does eventually need to step in. They have the right healthcare directives, and not just a power of attorney, but the right power of attorney. This is essential when you have somebody that is at assisted living level care, even if it's in the home. So if you have a loved one that might be on this trajectory, getting an assessment early on from somebody who is skilled in this elder law and elder care area can be critical to saving money, time, and stress on the back end. Because I've had spouses over the years, all the time, they'll say, I wish I had planned for this 3 years ago or 4 years ago. This is a common regret that people have, is that they didn't do this quick analysis and planning on the front end to save a lot of their stress on the back end. So if you need resources in this area or we can help you, please scan the QR code on the bottom of the screen or visit LawyerLisa.com, and we would love to do a consultation with you to see how we can help. I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown. Thanks for joining me for Legally Speaking with LawyerLisa.